Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Keeping It Unfiltered. Today, as you see, I'm in a new location because I'm at home. As you see, today here we have my best friend again, Kiera.
Hi guys.
We're going to be talking about ladies in their commitment. So, to get things started, let's ask Kiera. So, when is the last time you've been in a committed relationship?
She did not prep me for this, just so y'all know. These questions is flying at me too. Last time I've been in a committed relationship was, like 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
But last time I was in a committed situationship was probably like a year ago.
Now, speaking of a situationship, do you think you can actually be committed in a situationship?
It was stupid, and it was long and dragged out. And once you start being a girlfriend to someone that's not asking you to do that, that's when it kind of feels like it. But then you have to check yourself, which is what I did. You gotta fall back.
Well, what's your definition of commitment?
I mean, like loyal, you only talk to that person, you only really like connect with that person. That's the only person you're really trying to move forward with. And then like as far as y'all being in each other's lives so much, you're like behaving like a relationship without the title, basically.
So do you feel like it was mutual on both ends? Like, because you called it committed. So when I hear committed, I'm just telling you what I think of it. When I hear committed, I think both parties are equally in it as being committed. So that's why I'm like...
Well, that's why I had to check myself. Because I guess not. If I'm being honest, I guess not. I don't know what he would say, but that's why he's not here.
And that's why I would say, like, when it comes to the situationship, I don't feel like there could be necessarily any commitment. Only because, like, when you go into a relationship, I would hope that people are going into their relationships thinking about commitment. You know what I'm saying?
It was just a lot of games, a lot of, I want this, I want that, and then, like, no real action behind anything. So it wasn't obviously committed, but I felt committed to it.
Do you feel like you haven't been in a personal relationship, like, because you are afraid to be in a committed relationship? Like, is that why it's been so long?
Probably after my last relationship, that's when I realized, like, okay, like, I just don't want to be with the wrong person. And then getting into a situationship not too far after, and it was someone I had history with, whatever. So it was a little bit more sneaky in that way, that I didn't realize what I was getting myself into until I was in it. And then I had to have a real moment where I'm like, okay, I'm putting a lot out there. What do I want? What are my standards? What do I expect in a relationship? What do I expect of whatever this is? So I had to really like be honest with myself about what I wanted and what I wasn't doing to get there. So with that being said, I just think now I'm in a place where I genuinely just don't have the time. Like, and I've realized, okay, like if I want this type of person, I want to be able to be this type of person for them. So it's a lot of like, just waiting to be ready to be in the type of committed relationship that I would want. Because I think you have to do a lot of work on yourself to realize, like, okay, if I'm going to want this, then I have to be adequate for that. And then you really have to ask yourself those questions. Do you have time? Do you have impatient issues? Like, do you have trust issues? Whatever you have that you haven't been fixing, you need to work on that. So I'm in that phase right now.
Understood. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure you've seen my videos of how I feel about situationships and things of such. So because of that, would you say that you think that you pulled yourself into that situationship and started acting a certain type of way as a form of settlement? Or
so probably, like I said, it was a lot of history behind when I was with that person. So we had been cool for so long, doing what we was doing for so long, that it kind of like snuck up on me because we were just hanging out so often that eventually you're gonna automatically start to act a certain way. And then once you're acting a certain way, you're like, hey, what am I getting out of this?
Mm-hmm.
And after a while of not getting anything out of it, I was like, well, this is not for me.
Right. I just think about, now this is kind of like moving to a new topic or whatever. When I was younger, and what I feel like a lot of people mistaken as people with commitment is that women don't want to commit because they don't want to commit to the good guy, if that makes any sense. Just because you treat me right, just because you're nice, if I'm not attracted to you or I don't see you on that level, that doesn't make me stupid because I don't want to commit to you, if that makes sense. I feel like both of us should have people in our lives that we're mutually attracted to.
I think when people are saying stuff like that, I think they're really referring to like how women tend to fall for, if there's a good guy, there's obviously a bad guy, there's a bad boy. So I think that people are really referring to the fact that women tend to go more toward the bad boy and like the guy that's like selling stuff or like, you know, just doing out in the street doing stuff. People tend to like that attitude, like that aesthetic or whatever. And then it leaves the guys who don't go that route feeling like, hey, no one ever comes to hang out with me or no one ever likes me. So I think that's more so where they're coming from. Not you have to like a certain person.
I've actually heard people really talk and say like females are stupid because they're not falling for the person that would give them everything. Like, actually, you should be thankful if there is somebody, not all women, because some of them a lot of them fall for the aesthetic. But I'm just saying me, I know a lot of times where I've rejected people who I know would treat me right. It's not because it's necessarily like I want the better guy. No, because you still have those things. Like, I don't want nobody that's in the mix with all that extra stuff, the bad guy image. Like, I'm cool off that. But if I'm not attracted to you, I don't feel like I should sit there and get in there because I feel like this is the best that I could get. Like, no.
Yeah, no, don't settle. If you don't like somebody, you're not going to make yourself like somebody.
Exactly. And even after the dating process, I'm pretty sure a lot of people saw the video with the guys, how they said they sit there, they take their time dating, and if it winds up they're not in a relationship, then so be it. And I feel the same way. I will date you. I will see, if I like it or not. But if that's my choice, if that's Kiera's choice, that in the end, I don't want to be with you, that doesn't make us bad people, if that makes sense. Like,
no.
We just...
Yeah, if we're not clicking, if I don't feel anything, I'm not going to waste your time or mine.
Right.
Why would I do that?
Exactly. Like, that's a blessing that I'm not wasting your time. And I'm sorry I sound hoarse. It's allergy season. Just had to put that out there.
That it is.
Right, because it sounds so different.
But, yeah, I think that, like, for the most part, it's really just, you can't make yourself like someone. Like, you just... But I think we should be open to all. I mean, not all, because if you don't like a certain type of person, you don't like it. But you should be open to anyone that wants to treat you nicely. Yeah. Until you don't like that.
I see that, but at the same time, I think that you really got to look at the attraction. If I'm not attracted to you, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna give you all that room to take me out and all that stuff, because just as you're attracted to me, I feel like I should be equally attracted to my partner. You know? Yeah.
Agreed.
So right there, if they're not attracted, it's no harm. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Another reason why ladies won't commit is because of their desperation for that one person. So, that one person that you hung up on, in love with, and you just like, you know what, I'm going to wait for them. So...
We can't change them.
No.
There's nothing you can do.
No.
Trust me.
And for real, it's not even about like, sometimes it don't even be about changing. We just so worried about time. Like, over time, this person may come back in our lives. Like, don't wait for that. Okay? Like, don't wait for destiny to bring y'all back together. Healing is different. If you're taking your time to heal, get yourself together, that's different. while you may like not jump into another relationship, but don't wait. Because you don't know when they're going to come back, if they're even going to come back, and if they're even good for you in the first place. So you're going to sit there and wait for them to come back in your life because you're like, I want us to be together again. Whole time that person not even someone you should be with.
Or a lot of the time, you'll still be somewhat dealing with the person and you'll just be desperate for crumbs. Like that guy will just give you little, tiny little stuff just to keep you around. And you so desperate that you're just like, can I get any more? Like, are you going to give me any more of your time, any more of your attention?
Right.
And don't settle for crumbs. You're worth more than crumbs every time.
Every time.
From anybody. Like, don't do that.
That is so true. I didn't even think of stuff like that. Kira gonna be mad. That is not to be confused with leading on. If they're giving you all them red flags, they're not leading you on. You're just staying there and dealing with them.
The reason we disagree on this one topic is because I feel like if I ask you questions and you lie to me, you're leading me on.
No,
now it is my responsibility after a while, after you've been lying for a little while, to be like, maybe he's not telling the truth, but the mind wants to believe what the mind wants to believe. So whatever, but I think once someone is lying, then in my mind, I feel like you're leading someone on because you know what you think. I don't know what you think, so I have to ask. And if I'm asking, you're telling me this, then I would like to have believed the people I was dealing with.
But at the same time, though, the actions, like your actions, not even giving anything. So why am I going to sit there and say you're leading me on? I feel like if your actions aren't following up, obviously you're BSing.
There are two wrong parties in that, just so you know.
I agree with you, though. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. Maybe you shifted my mind a little bit.
There are two wrong parties, because I should be able to walk away and realize, like, this person is full of crap. Like, this is not what I think it is. Let me go find something else to do.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't, then you're still lying. Like, another thing I feel like women are afraid of when it comes to commitment is they have like a lack of hope that there's better out there for them. Because after a while, like, you might date you have to kiss a bunch of frogs to get a prince, right? So like on your sixth frog, you might be like, I don't like this. Like, this is a lot of work for nothing in return. So it might kind of be discouraging to women to be dating in today's dating pool.
No, that's for sure true. Like, I feel like a lot of people that, you know, I just try to sit there and say, like, no, we all are soft women. I know people think I'm crazy,
all
but
women are soft.
We are. Thank you. Like,
I will agree with that.
Yes, we are soft. And y'all know y'all want y'all Prince Charming or whatever. And then everybody wants to put on this thing, oh no, until a man shows me different, until a man does X, Y, and Z, that's when I'll commit to him. But besides that, I'm going to talk to A, B, C, and D. And it's just like, you just selling yourself out. I feel like you're just kind of sitting there saying, like, you don't think this person could put their full-blown attention into you. You know what I'm saying?
But that's the part that can get kind of, like, exhausting about it. Because once you've been dating for a while and you keep not finding the one, then, like, what is the point? Like, why would you still have an open heart about it and still be like, oh, I'm just waiting for my person to show up when you haven't experienced that? Like, I understand that.
Yeah, see, my thing is, I don't feel like we should have to wait around for a person. And I'm not telling people not to date. I just feel like there should be more standards to it at that point. Because it's like, people will keep dating the same type people. Like,
you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right.
You're dating the same type of people, and then you want to find your prince in the same mud pile. Like, you're not going to do that. You keep going for the same type guy. So do something. You got to look different a little bit, or maybe create another standard, you know?
Yeah, because I think once I really started, like, thinking about, like, my standards, because sometimes, and I know I'm not the only one that'll do this, right? Like, you'll date someone, and you, like, you cool to hang out with. Like we could do this for a little while, but you would not introduce him to your friends, your mother, your father. He is not fitting the cloth when it comes to all of that, and you know that. So you just like, I'm gonna keep him around for right now. And when you do that too much, you end up with trash people to pick from because you knew he wasn't nothing to begin with.
Yeah. But you just doing it.
But it was fun.
And that's another thing. Everybody keep trying to have fun so bad. That's another reason why a lot of people aren't committing. This is another thing ladies are doing. Okay? Because obviously the commitment comes from two people wanting to commit. So even if they do want to commit, they think he's supposed to meet every single standard. You don't even meet 5 of his. I don't think that you can sit there and ask this man to do X, Y, and Z for you, and you still want to do A, B, and C. And you know that's something that he's not okay with. But you want him to meet this standard. You want him to spend this much money on you. You want him to take you everywhere. However, you're doing all this other stuff with other guys. Like, that's crazy.
You do have to be, if you're going to want a certain type of person, you have to be conscious about what they might want in return. And if you can't meet that standard, then maybe you need to rethink who you're talking to. Or you maybe have to do some inner work.
Yeah. Because I just feel like another part of it, too, is like, why even want this man to be loyal to you and do all these things for you and you still want to dip and dab and whoever you want to dip and dab to? Honestly, bro, I feel like that's the problem with committing all across the board, because nobody can trust anybody. Everybody always think they got somebody in their back pocket. Like,
that's what it has become. And I think
that's an issue.
And that's so interesting because I know, and I know this for you too, like personally, I don't have the attention span to talk to more than one person. I don't. So I don't even know why men make that assumption about women, because a lot of women I know, you know, they keep a full roster, and that's different. Good, shout out to them. But
no, y'all should stop.
But for a lot of women I know, it's like we really just put our attention on one person. You're putting your time into someone, y'all should have an understanding.
Yeah.
About, you're the only person I'm paying attention to. I personally am really big on honesty. If I can't trust you, you already out. So the first time you prove to me that I can't trust you, you out. I don't even do it. So I'm gonna lead in with, you're telling me the truth, right? So when we're doing that and we're moving that way and we're getting to know each other and we're being honest,
right,
I'm expecting you to tell me anything you have to tell me. So if you tell me you're not talking to anybody, I'm gonna take that as what's going on. Yeah. And if that turns out to be a lie, right, I'm done. Right. Because you could have just said, hey, we're not together, da-da-da. But if we are in a committed relationship, then I shouldn't have to worry about, like, I should be able to trust you. I do feel like, though, you got to be willing to leave, though. You do have to be willing to leave. When you find out that they are talking to someone, just because they're honest. And I'm not saying that's how me and her feel. We ain't going to give up too much tape. Right. But just because they're honest, that does not mean you have to sit there and deal with them if that's not your cup of tea. You know what I'm saying? Well, I was referring to, like, if you guys are, like, talking, dating in that stage. If y'all haven't committed to each other yet, I know you, like... Yeah, that's where I disagree with. I feel like some people date. Like, some people date around. I might not like that personally, but I do know that that's something that happens. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. So I think if you guys are in a place where you're just dating, getting to know each other, and y'all might have an understanding that y'all just doing that. But y'all should have that understanding. You shouldn't lie ever. Yeah, and you know what? This is what I mean by that. I'm thinking about months, and even if, you know, however long it takes you to get in a relationship, but doing that for a long period of time, where it's like we at month so-and-so, and you're still saying, oh yeah, I do talk to A, B, and C. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's a little... That's you figured out extra. You like me by now, right? Okay, that's what we doing. Right, but in the beginning, obviously, you know, people may be dating or weighing options, and I understand that not everybody, you know, everybody's not sure. You know, we're not sure what we want to do. I do feel like that still is a conversation, or you just treading lightly with the person. Like, don't jump all in, and you know you still dealing with X amount of people, and you understand that the person is serious. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of them people, I'm serious. So
I don't have time to waste.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather just not talk to you. If you want to sit there and dip your feet in the pond, like, do whatever you want to do, just don't do it with me. That's how I feel on that.
Understandable. No, that makes all the sense in the world. I just think, like, communication should be there on all points.
On all points. Yep.
Whatever you're doing. So if we start out and we're just dating because I just met you, okay. And then a couple weeks later you decide, hey, I really like you. You're going to be the person I'm, like, getting to know.
No, yeah.
Then that's what we're doing.
Right.
There should be no backsliding.
Right.
What's going on?
Understood.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Another reason why a lot of people won't commit is because, and this is being afraid, saying that people are temporary. Listen, I get that everyone says, oh, nothing lasts forever, all types of stuff that they be saying. To be honest, you don't know. So just not live in the moment. I think you should definitely look towards the future if you're involved with someone, committed to someone. Like, you shouldn't be sitting here having it in the back of your head. We could break up today or tomorrow. Like, for all that, you might as well, like, remove yourself from that relationship. However, if you are in that relationship, just enjoy it for the time that it is there. And on top of that, especially if you love that person, a lot of people be like, I'm not doing X, Y, and Z for so-and-so because they could just be going tomorrow. Okay, we obviously understand that, but you don't need to move that way. Like, enjoy the relationship you have right now.
Yeah, I think if you're going to be with someone, if you're going to be in a relationship with someone, then you should think about how you can better their life and how they can better yours.
Right.
And I mean, I feel like that's a little harder at this age that we are. You know, in your 20s, I think you should dedicate most of your time to yourself if you don't have any children. And when you move in a way that you just feel like everyone is temporary, you're really not in anything for the long haul.
Yeah.
Because you just here today, gone tomorrow, and you already have your own preconceived notions of what this person is gonna do and how they actually feel about you. When if you're moving that way, then obviously nothing is gonna work. You know what I mean? It's just fear. It's straight fear.
Yeah, I think a lot of times too, a lot of people have situationships or friends with benefits, cool with benefits. I'm changing the term now on the channel. Cool with benefits, things like that.
Yeah. These are all things that we have to work through because it's like a pattern after a while. It's like, okay, you start talking to somebody, it moves to this, it moves to that, now you do that, and now you're back at square one. When if you just stop moving in your old pattern, maybe you'll have better results.
Exactly. So now we're gonna open the floor for some questions, bro. You got any questions for me?
I actually do have a question for you.
Okay.
When's the last time you were in a committed relationship? I know, they don't know, I don't know.
Yeah.
And what would it take for you to commit to someone again?
Okay. Well, you know, I'm gonna count relationship as boyfriend and girlfriend. Being committed to someone, I would say a couple months ago. If I'm being real, as far as being in a full-blown committed relationship, and the reason why I say a couple months ago is because it was my ex. So don't be thinking I'm cool with benefits. No, I'm talking about my ex. And in a full-blown relationship, it was a year. No, that was 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago. Yep. So that was the last time. It is flying, but thank God, because time heals all. Okay.
Thank God for that.
So I'm happy for that. And what would take for me to commit again? Honestly, I feel like I'm at a really good place where I'm open to commit to someone again. Honestly, just seeing how someone feels about me and how they treat me, care for me. I know what I like and stuff, like to each its own. I feel like if I'm receiving that treatment the way I would like to receive it, that's going to be something that makes me commit. I'm not like closed off as of right now to committing to someone. But I do have those basic guidelines as far as like, just because you could treat me right, as I mentioned before, that doesn't mean I'm going to be with you if I'm not fully attracted to you or I don't feel like you're a good fit for me, if that makes sense.
Right, because basically when you commit, you want to commit long term. Like you don't want to just date, you want to date to marry.
Yeah.
So he has to really fit for like
Stuff like that.
everything.
Yeah. And like, it's not that I'm all crazy. I understand that there's levels to it, and you don't know straight on like we're gonna get married tomorrow. I just wouldn't commit to someone that I don't see long term with. Like, I don't even see a couple months with, is what I'm saying, you know, because I feel like, you know, even though I am that type of person and I would like to date for marriage, I get that there's steps to it, and I get that, you know, it takes some time to learn someone.
Absolutely.
So I understand that they also have to learn me too, and that's gonna take some time. I'm okay with that. Just don't waste my time, though. But that's the thing. This is another thing I meant to bring up. Wasting time is not dating and realizing that it doesn't work. Wasting time is knowing the type time I'm on or the type time somebody else is on, and you're lying about what time you're on. Obviously, your actions are going to prove that. Like, it's really hard to lie with actions. That's why I say, like, you really got to depend on them. Some people might have, you know, mastered it. That's on them. But I'm just saying, like, it's pretty hard to lie about actions and a feeling, too. Like, ladies, one thing I will say, if you don't go with nothing else, think about how you feel. If you don't feel that way about that person, even while they're doing their gestures, you're probably not attracted to them on that level, and that's okay. Like, don't force yourself to go with everything just because they're doing things that you feel is right.
Sometimes I think people can really just get into this routine where, like, okay, you're just like talking to someone, and you don't even realize how few people you actually like. Like I realize I don't know if I ever liked anybody.
Yeah.
Because after I really realized, like, okay, if I'm not just being nice, if I'm not just going with the flow, do I really enjoy the time I'm spending? Do I like how I feel every day? Regardless if they're being nice to me or not. Do I like them as a person?
Right.
Sometimes you don't.
Yeah, bro. Honestly, not throwing you under the bus. Kiera has like 3 people. I've known her for like, what, 10 years?
Hope nobody watched this.
I'm not going to say their names, but there's only been like 2 to 3 people that I know Kiera has actually liked. Like, out of these 10 maybe 5. I mean, me, bro.
I liked 5 people. You liked
3.
The people, well, you was like chained up. Like, obviously you like them.
But I'm just saying, before them, as long as you knew me. So, like, we're starting from him. It's been like 3 people.
And that's the amount of people you dated.
No. What?
Everybody she liked, they was basically married.
Actually, one of them, he actually treated me really, really good. He did. But I didn't feel like he was the best fit for me. So I did not get into a relationship with him. Stop.
No, she didn't get in a relationship.
See?
But
I did like him. And like a lot of people, I think they get that misconception from me, not you, obviously. But they feel like I have to be in love, like, in order to date someone and stuff like that. No, we were actually just dating. We had fun, and it's just when it got to the end of the road, I was like, yeah, like, I don't even want to waste his time. He was a great guy, but I just didn't want to be with him. So, yeah.
And that's exactly how it happened. That happens, though.
Another thing I want to mention, and I talked about this years ago. Just because somebody likes you, it don't mean you gotta like them. Now, as we get older, as we get older, now I kind of like, I don't really talk to that many people. I don't talk to people even while I'm single that like me. Like, there's not too many people I could think of off the top of my head.
That like you? Or you like them?
No. What I'm trying to say is, okay, it used to be this thing where people who liked me, I would still talk to them, like, regularly, like, all the time. And then they would assume that I would like them. If I don't say I like you, then I don't like you. Like, I don't have a problem saying that. And I think that's with a lot of females. Like, some females are just friendly. I'm not gonna lie. Not in a relationship, but outside of the relationship, like, I will make it clear as day. Like, I don't like you and stuff. So off that, like, don't assume. And same for other females, because I hear other females say this too. Do not assume that they like you just because they're being nice. Like,
that's why sometimes you just have to like distance yourself. You don't have to
you
be
do.
rude.
Exactly.
But sometimes it's like just more fair for the other person and better for your own well-being that you just distance yourself.
Yeah, and I definitely do that now that I'm older. Like, when I was younger, it was different. I'm like, I'm single, you know, everybody has friends.
Right.
But now I'm older, I'm like, I'm not about to do all that and not know how you feel about me or whatever.
You know what, though?
What?
With me dealing with a lot of temporary people, I feel like I'm able to compartmentalize people that way a little easier than you might be.
What you mean?
In a way that, like, you feel like, oh, I have to give everyone my energy and time and talk to them. Like, it's more difficult for you to maybe not do that and reach back out because you feel like, you know, people aren't temporary, they're people. Whereas me, I throw myself on the bus, I don't care. You can be temporary if I make you temporary.
Yeah.
I don't have to talk to you.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I don't really reach out. Yeah, I don't do the reaching out. Old flings and stuff like that, like, that's not my thing. I know people, and guys, y'all be wrong about it. I see a lot of guys be like, oh, she got a forever guy. Whom?
No, not you.
You don't either, I would hope.
Not no more.
Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm like, bro.
It happens, though. Sometimes you keep one in the tuck.
That's true. I don't keep nobody in a tuck. And it's a lot of us that don't. Like, some girls do, and they barely be in the tuck. Because the guys be living their lives, and the girls just be...
That's a maturity thing, though, I feel like. Like, once you really realize, like, if I wanted to be with him, wouldn't I have just been with the one that I kept in the tuck?
That is true.
I had to, like, mature past the point where I was like, well, I could just... Like, if I liked him, if I wanted to be with him, I would have been with him. Why would I keep him in the back of my pocket?
But that's because, you know, people don't disclose, and I don't feel like you have to disclose, like, what happened in their prior relationship or who made the decision to leave or walk away and stuff like that. So I think that's why guys may have in the back of their head, especially if you're not bashing your ex. Honestly, y'all, too, if you're bashing your ex, tip for ladies and tip for the guys, too. I know everybody hates the tip for the guys. If she bashing her ex, she still might be, she's not over her ex. Don't be dealing with people that's super caught up and stuff. Because, bro, you don't even bash.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I'll bash up until I'm done. And then once I'm done, I will bash up until I mentally feel like I'm over it. And then I won't say nothing else. But up until that point... But I won't bash it to a guy. That's, ladies, y'all gotta stop doing that. They are not your friends.
They're not your friends. And that's so unattractive to... I'm sorry. That's very
Y'all are not
unattractive
bonding. It's not being cool with him. He's gathering information to figure out that you're not the girl for him.
Literally, guys really do count the amount of times you say your ex's name, too. Please know that. If they're really into you. And if they're really trying. Some guys probably wouldn't even care. But... You know, if they're trying to decide whether or not to move forward with you, you're going to peep how many times you sat there and you talked about this person that you're so over, you know. So, I will watch out for that.
Yeah, don't let your ex mess up your next commitment. Like, if your ex messed it up, however he did it, or if you did it, whatever, fresh start. Right? Like, let's just start over.
Right, and you know, that's why I feel like it's so important. Here I go with the healing. But it's so important to do that because if you want to have that time period, you want that time period to bash them in your head or whatever, so be it. But you really could mess up another relationship worried about them so much. And they're not, bro, they don't even be worth your time. They don't even be worth the person to be stressed about, you know?
Yeah, I feel like you really should take that time. And that doesn't mean, like, jumping from person to person. You don't heal that way.
Right.
You just simply don't. You're always focused on, oh, I got to text him back. Or take time to yourself.
Right.
Take a couple months. Really think about how you've been thinking, how you've been feeling, what you can do to better yourself. any issues that you might have, get some therapy, whatever you need to do.
Right.
But you should really take some time between the next person, because if that person is everything you want, you don't want to go into it broken. Because now you just messed up that situation.
You're right.
You know something else that I realized, like, people go wrong too? When they are trying to, like, get into their next relationship, I feel like some people just don't ask the right questions. And maybe because you don't know where you want to go with it. Like, a lot of people will be like, oh, no, I don't want a relationship. And just because at the moment you weren't technically looking for a relationship, you're like, oh, yeah, me neither. And then 3 months down the lane, the girl is mad. She's like, why are we not in a relationship? You said you didn't want one. He stayed on course. He said what he didn't want. So I feel like we really, really, in the beginning, ladies, need to realize what we're agreeing to and what we're not agreeing to. Because then we end up in trouble, and now we look crazy. And we got to stop doing that, because they didn't lie. They didn't do anything wrong. You just hurt your own feelings.
I feel like y'all be lying to yourselves just because you want to be on the same page as the other person. That's the whole point of it.
Trying to be agreeable and agree your way into a relationship.
Pick me.
You cannot do that. You cannot agree your way all the way into a relationship. If he does not want you, if he doesn't want anyone, it might not just be you. It might be anyone. But he doesn't want it. And it's nothing you can do to make him want that.
Right.
You have to be very clear about what your standards are and how you do and don't want to be treated. Because if you're not clear on that, the guy will pick for you.
Yeah. And look, for the ladies who are going to argue, like, the guy won't pick for me. No, I really don't want a relationship. No, I really, really, really.
How long you going to stay in that space?
In the long run.
Like, you going to do 6 months of, oh, I don't want a relationship, we're just hanging out?
Come on, y'all.
6 months?
Come on. And some people do be in it because they fall for the guy. And then they sit there and
then
say,
you're in real trouble.
But they do it. They be like, I didn't want a relationship in the first place. You don't have to, like, me personally, though, I don't even understand the point of going into a situation like that. If you don't want a relationship, why do you want this person to spend time with you and do all this stuff for you if you don't want one anyway? That don't make no sense.
People are used to today's culture, which is made up of situationships.
That's true.
And so if that's what you're used to, you think, but no. Like, ladies, we want dates, we want flowers, we want all those things. We cannot settle.
And listen, before y'all sit there and y'all compare me and Kira, y'all be like, no, y'all the same people, blah, blah, blah. Bro, I'm sorry. Like, not to put you on the spot, but you really gotta, like, let them know.
Mo is more of a relationship girl, like, long-term, locked-in, serial monogamous type of person. And I be out here. I be outside. I'm not outside no more. I took myself off the market. Nobody talk to me.
But you see how you're saying you're taking yourself off the market, not me go date a million people. Like, I took myself off the market. I'm
off the market because I don't have time. Like, I really just don't have time to be a good partner to someone else. And I wouldn't want to do that. So until I have that type of time when I'm not in school and stuff like that, then maybe.
Until you
for the right person. Yeah.
For the right person.
For the wrong person, don't bother me.
Yeah.
For real.
And we can figure out who you are, very much so.
Oh, yeah, we sharp with it now. We vetting people. I got Mo here. She vet everybody. I'm going to start listening to her.
She said
that's the real problem. I do not listen.
I'm cracking up.
All her harsh opinions are because...
Bro, how much people gonna tell her? I'm just gonna let you rock.
I don't care.
I have a good example.
I'm not all of them.
Not all of them. No. Not all of them. But, you know, because she does do the dating more than, you know, I do.
She gets a good...
Only because, like, that's another thing. A lot of people aren't serious right now, and that's okay. You don't... That's fine.
And
just don't bother me.
That's the thing, because I feel like everyone has their era of, like, not being serious, not wanting something serious. And that's okay, but then you have to be honest, men and women, about when that time is, because it's just not right to lead someone on if that's not your intention. There's plenty of people that are out here to have fun. Go find one of them people.
Yeah.
Don't go find an innocent bystander that's looking for a relationship. It's
Dang,
wrong.
bro.
That's how I see it. You're innocent. You're looking for love, and this person is out here like a wolf in sheep's clothing. Now, I'm never
so
the innocent bystander. I used to be with party goers too. But I'm just saying, like, don't do that.
You're funny. Another thing, though, that I wanted to point out, as you said about the whole thing of, like, taking yourself off the market, I did the same exact thing. Like, I was down for a long time, especially, like, even before, you know, dealing with the person and being committed again. Outside of the relationship, I was down for a minute, just trying to get me together. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Before a situation happened, I think I was waiting. Yeah, you know what I'm going to say? I was waiting. Like, we could probably get back together and stuff. Very stupid. Like, it was, got me nowhere. Well, it got me somewhere, but it didn't work out. Long story short, it just didn't work out, to say the least.
It's never stupid if you're just learning yourself. I think everything is a lesson. So if you did it that time and it didn't work out for you, the important part is to learn the lessons. Stop relearning the same lessons. How many times does it have to happen to you?
Yeah. And it was unintentional, though. That's why I brought it up, because I know we touched on it and we said, you know, that people can wait. I've done it, but I did it unintentionally. I didn't even realize I was doing it until I was like, you know, maybe the person hit me up again and they're like, oh, let's hang out, let's do this and that. I shouldn't even have been open to that. And I know that we just agreed not to be together. Like, that just didn't make any sense. So
that just means, like, one of your favorite things to talk about, like, standing on your standards. Where you didn't do that so much, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. But I think when we really put that into practice, to being true to ourselves, to standing on, I don't like that, I'm not dealing with it.
Yeah.
You have to stand on those things, because if you don't, anything can happen. And you wasn't okay with it before, so now look at you.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah. You sound like me.
Forever.
When I talk about these things, and I have so much strong opinions, besides the friends with benefits thing, or situationships, because I didn't have those, and I'm just being honest so that way you guys know. I've been put myself in some things before. That's why I'm strong on the standards. That's why I'm strong on, like, you need to stand 10 toes, because my life didn't change. I didn't heal. I didn't get better until I sat there and I put those stipulations in my life. If not, I would be in the same exact place. Because they no telling, like, what can happen if you are committing yourself to that one person in your mind this whole time and thinking that they're an option for you. Like, you start blocking blessings. And blessings don't even have to be other guys. It can be taking the next step in life. Like, whatever you got to do for yourself. For example, moving in. As y'all know, I've been in a long-term relationship. Imagine me sitting there waiting for me and my ex to get back together so we can buy a house together. I would not be where I'm at. And I'm actually very happy that I sat there and I took that step out for myself.
I think that's really important. Because, yeah, even, like, I feel like until you really heal, you don't start moving forward in your own life. If you're still stuck on even a situationship, you might be like, well, why isn't he doing this and why isn't he doing that? You're missing all these opportunities to move forward for yourself when you're doing that, because you're over here crying, incapacitated, can't function how you normally function. And when you can't do that, you can't get things done for yourself.
Yep, that's true.
So now, it could have been in 6 months, you could have been like, oh, how stupid are you to have left me, because I changed my whole life around. And you have the power to do that.
You do.
So you just have to really be careful about who you commit to. And if you make a mistake, back to the drawing board, and it starts with you. You know?
Yeah, and I know how I said ladies, I'm pretty sure y'all know, because I don't feel like women are afraid to commit. It's different than having that standard of, I don't feel like I should be dealing with this and I'm just not ready to do it. Those are two different things because of whatever you have going on in your life. If you need an off period from committing, that's fine too, to get yourself together. That does not make you immature. Actually, it makes you even better, because you're able to sit there and figure out, why don't I want this? Or what can I do for myself? Like, I want to be in a great position.
And I know I just said that little part about, oh, how stupid are you to have lost me? But, like, it shouldn't be for him,
Mm-hmm.
ladies. Progress for yourself, whether he's looking at it or not. Because I know a lot of people are like, oh, I posted these pictures, he ain't even look at them yet. You look good regardless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why does it matter? Like, literally focus on yourself. That will do everything it's supposed to do. And I promise he'll see it at some point, and it'll cross his mind.
And look, even if he doesn't, I don't want to say that because some people really be waiting. So
Yeah.
we kind of
let's
keep
just never mind, because some people.
I'm gonna keep that in there too because they need to know. Like, y'all really be waiting. Some people be waiting. Don't worry about him. When you feel good about yourself, you will attract the person that you need to attract. You don't even gotta be perfect. I'm not saying be perfect, but you know how you feel mentally, and that's the important part. So that was some good conversation for the ladies. If y'all agree, disagree, whatever, y'all flew in my DMs for the boys episode. So I'm fine with y'all flying in my DMs, including this one here. I'm fine with y'all sliding in my DMs about this episode as well. Thank you all for watching. Please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you, bro, for joining me.
Of course,
today.
of course.
So until next time, see you next Thursday.
Bye.